Today we're going to edit an image in Lightroom. I've been using Lightroom now for 10 years and their advancements every year is really fantastic, especially this newest update that they did is really cool. I'm going to show you that in a little bit. So I'm going back into the archives and see what I can do with some of my older images and develop it more into my style that I do now. So first thing here, I can tell that the blacks, it's pretty dark. And the way you can tell here that if your blacks and if your whites are clipping is you hit the letter J. Hit the letter J, and you can see here it's blue. If the highlights were clipping, it would be in red. So here it's in blue. We're going to adjust that. I just want to show you that in the beginning first. And also another thing, if you want to know the information of an image besides looking over here, you click the letter I on your keyboard. And here it tells you the size in pixels, the image, the date it was taken. Hit it again, and it gives you all the settings right here as well. So this was shot at 10 seconds, 17 millimeters, f11, ISO 100. I could have gone a little bit further. That's what I would do today. But this was, wow, 8 years ago. So I have improved, all right, always learning. So to get rid of this, I just hit the I again to just remove that distraction. Now we're going to remove the blacks. First, I'm going to start with basics thing. The first thing I do is go into my lens correction. Here, remove chromatic aberration and enable picture profile correction. And it did already push up the blacks a little bit. I'm going to go into my basics now. I'm going to change this profile to Adobe Landscape just to give it a little more punch of saturation. Now I'm going to boost the blacks, boost the shadows. That's opening it up a little more. And do the whites, give it some more light. That's looking great. I'm going to hit on the letter J to show you. See, it's already, see how the highlights are clipping there, but I'm going to fix that. I am going to boost the exposure now. I always recommend to do, if you can push these first, your blacks, whites, and shadows, then give it some exposure. I'm going to boost it some more, a little more. I'm going to stop about there. Bring it down. Now I'm going to drop the highlights. Fantastic. I'm going to bring the whites down a little bit. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. So far, so good. Now I'm gonna warm it up a little bit with the temperature. Okay, I'm gonna stop. That's too much. The way to see what something does with a slider is just go all the way with it and see what kind of look you want. So I'm just gonna bring it up to like, that's too much. I'm gonna bring it to, I'm liking that right there. That is looking nice. Now the first thing I want to do is to denoise this because it was pretty dark. As you can see, there's a lot of noise. I'm going to shut off the warning here, the clip, the highlights, and the blacks warning. Hit the letter J. All right, so you see all that noise. And Lightroom has really come a long way. We're going to use the denoise feature that they have. So you go to the Detail tab, hit denoise. It'll load it up, and see, that really makes a big difference. So hit the left key, the left click. That's without enhancement. That's with it. I'm going to do it at 50%. Let's hit it. And it renders over here. Sometimes it takes long, sometimes it's short. It's moving pretty good. It creates a DNG file. And there it is. Right there, the DNG file. Wow, looks fantastic. Let's go to before. Yeah. Let's zoom in. Well, that looks really good. I'm going to do something here to the top here. I'm not liking this green already. I know exactly what I want to do here. Another thing we're going to do right now, so we did the detail there with the denoise. I'm going to crop this. I want a little less sky, but I want the foreground to be. I'm going to bring this in a little bit. Bring this in. And I want it something like that. Something like that. Let's see what that, and we're going to level it. So if you just click on it and use the arrow keys, up and down arrow keys to level it. You can also put in a number. 71 looks pretty good. I'm going to close that out. Fantastic. I'm digging this. The way it's cropped and leveling looks really, really good. Cool. So we're done with that. Now we are going to calibrate it and mess with the colors. All right, this is global adjustments to the individual red, green, and blue primaries here in the image. So I'm going to shift this around. I like more like a cyan look. So that's looking cool there. Bring up the saturation. Same thing here. Nope. I want to go to the right with that. See, that gives it more. I like how the green's looking, but it's too green. But I'm gonna adjust that individually as well. So I'm liking that right there. I'm gonna boost the saturation there. Looking nice. Bring this down just a little bit more. Excuse me. And now the blue is really gonna make it. Yes, I'm liking. See, that's way too much. So we're just gonna do it slightly, but still, yeah, I'm liking that. I'm liking it at like 20. Yeah, 20 is nice. Boost it up. That's too much. Yeah, that's looking nice. A little bit more. No, let's keep it at, yeah, at 20. That's looking good. Now, I am gonna just target this right here. The greens, I'm gonna mess with the hue a little bit. I just wanna change that hue of the green individually. I am liking that. I like it more subtle like that, not too bright. I'm liking that, and just punch it up with saturation just a little bit. Just a tad. That's good. And you can also adjust the luminance if you want to make it brighter. Bright, dark. Actually, I am going to make it just a little bit brighter because light is hitting it. So that's kind of cool. All right, we're going to leave that alone right there. I'm going to mess with the colors a little bit more later. So now we are going to go into our masking tools and just make local adjustments. The first thing here that Lightroom has introduced just recently, about 3 weeks ago, is this landscape mask. It creates a mask for your sky, your subject, the foreground, whatever it sees, it creates individual masks. So that is fantastic. Let's see what it does. Hit landscape. And right here, it's rendering. So let's see what happens. So it shows the sky, perfect. Architecture, exactly what I want to target. Vegetation, I'm going to do that on my own. So I'm just going to select the sky and the architecture, create a mask. We'll start from the bottom to the top. So here, it's just too green for me. And I want to make it a little more, give it a little more of a warm kind of look. So I'm going to go here into saturation here under the color, desaturate it. I'm liking that. And then I'm just going to bring it back with the temperature, make it a little bit warmer. I'm liking that is cool right there. And just a little bit of tint. Perfect. Love it. And I'm going to go here into the effects and just get a little more noise out of there. Yeah, make it look cleaner. I'm liking that. Still a little bit of texture, but it's kind of cool. All right, next we are going to highlight this area right here. The light's hitting here from this side. You see it's hitting on a truck, a little bit on the pole. So I'm going to accent those points here in the image. So that we're going to do with radial gradients, my favorite tool. Hit a radial gradient. Oh, go over here, stretch it out, bring it down here. Great. I'm going to go here with my tone, raise the exposure, liking that right there. I'm going to warm it up, with color. I'm liking that. That is looking nice. That's looking good. Let's go back here to tone. I'm just going to add a little bit of white, just a little more subtle. There, I'm liking that. I'm going to feather it. Bring it back down a little bit more. Increase, show some more. I want to bring some more of these shadows up here in this section under the truck. So I'm going to do another radial gradient there. Go over here. Stretch that out. Push it with the shadows. I'm liking that, right? That is looking nice. Cool. Bring this down. If you go all the way, I don't need that. I like it to be subtle. I'm going to feather it all the way. I'm liking that right there. Looking good. Next up, we are going to do a little bit of dodging and burning. Just accent these spots here where there's light and there's dark. Here we're going to go to create another mask, get a brush. I am going to boost the exposure up to like 60. All right, 63 is good. And just hit these spots here a little bit. I got it set to 56 and 46, the flow and density. I'm going to come over here and hit this spot here. Here on the truck. Yeah, up here. And across. All right. And this is what I love about photography. I mean, and any kind of art. It's all up to you. How you want to create your style, how you take an image. There's no right or wrong. It's your style. These are just tools that help you get to where you want to be or the look that you want, in photography or whatever art you do. All right. So don't let anybody like criticize you or put you down or this should be this color, this was that. It's all your own interpretation and you will find your style. The more you practice, the more you edit, you will find your way. So I'm liking that. Let's go back to this mask right here. I just want to bring it out just a little bit more. Yeah, that's a lot better. That is better. And I'm going to feather it a little more. Yes, I'm liking that. Just drop it down just a tad. Yes. All right. And now we are going to do some burning. We dodged first. We hit some light somewhere. We hit some light in certain spots. Now we're going to do it with the dark. Same thing. We're going to put it at 60, but lower the exposure to 60. And I'm going to go in here in these shadowy spots and just bring those out. I'm going to go here into the grass. So the way you zoom in and out, you hold down the shift key, you hold down your space bar, left click, and then you hold it in order to move around. You left click, hold, move, let it go, and you can paint. So where it's already dark, that's when I'm hitting up. Let me zoom out so see what I'm doing over here. Yeah, this section here. Holding down the space bar, hand comes up. I'm moving it with my left click. Same thing here. Move it up here. Yeah. It makes a difference. Once you're all done, you'll see like, oh yeah, it does make a difference. It does give it more depth. Go back. Yeah, let's go over here a little bit more. Boop, boop. Sometimes you got to go in a little bit more at a time, subtle. I'm really liking this look already. So we did that. I am going to, I want to give this more like a matte kind of look. So I'm going to go into our basics panel and I'm going to drop the contrast just a little bit. See, if you go all the way, that's too much. I'm going to drop it like right. I'm liking that right there. That's like a nice soft look. I'm digging that. And now with the tone curve, I'm going to bring it back, but slightly, and just give it a little bit of punch. So I'm going to click here on the highlights here, just bring it up a little bit. And with the darks, I'm just going to bring it down just a tad. Too much. Here, when you let go, when you're clicking on that dot right there for the highlights and you have that arrow, you can adjust it with increments with your up and down arrow keys. So I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. I'm liking that right there. That is looking great. Let's do a before and after, backslash key, before, after. That is looking nice, nice and subtle. I'm digging it. So next up, let's do a little bit with the color mixer again. We are going to do some luminance on the colors a little bit. So the green, I'm just going to bring it up just a little bit more, the green. I'm liking that. That's too much. That's good right there. The blues, let's see. No, I'm leaving the blue alone. Reds, let's do the orange just a little bit, just to give it a little light there. I'm liking that. That's looking good. Gonna go into saturation and do it individually here with the orange, just a little bit more orange, liking that. Yellow, yeah, yellow's too much. That's too much yellow there. I'm liking that, right? That is looking nice. Definitely. Digging it. What do you think so far? I hope you are getting something out of this. Please drop it in the comments. Let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. Right now, we're going to do a little bit of sharpening. So let's go into the detail. I'm going to bring it up to like 73, 75. If you hold down the Alt key and then slide it over, I want to take it out of the sky and just really do the truck and the bottom a little bit. So I'm happy with that. Zoom in. That is looking fantastic. That is great. All right. So far, so good. Now I just want to close the photo a little bit. I'm going to go back into my masks. Up here, I'm going to create a linear gradient for the sky up top. Hold the shift key so it keeps it straight. Bring it on down. Right there is about good. I want to subtract the subject. So select the subject, subtracting it, because I don't want to darken this. I want to darken the top here. And we're going to go here and with the exposure, just bring it on down. I'm going to bring it on down just a little bit, a little more. Cool. I'm going to bring it down a little bit more and just make it a little bit, go to the color here, go like this. Yeah, I am liking that right there. Let me go to my sky panel here for a second. Make sure I did certain adjustments. Yeah, I forgot to do here a little bit of dehaze on the sky. Exactly what I want. Okay, that's a lot better. Go to clarity, give it a little bit of a pop there, and I'm going to decrease the texture. I know I forgot something. So let's go back to that one, and I'm going to go here to a linear gradient, the tone, and just bring it back up a little bit. Actually, it wasn't bad though, how it was. What I am going to change is the color because it's a little bit too blue. Just add a little bit. That is looking good right there. I'm digging that. So far, so good. Sometimes you get, sidetracked because I thought I did that and I didn't with the sky. That's what I usually do. And yeah, the sharpening's done. This is looking fantastic. Now, the real thing is getting rid of these wires and these poles. All right, now, Lightroom still doesn't have that ability to do a good job. So I'm bringing it into Photoshop. Hopefully along the way, they can do small stuff, but not this, really. It's a waste of time. Photoshop really does the job here, especially with this updates as well. So we're going to right click. We're going to edit in Photoshop. All right, so we're in Photoshop. I'm going to do Control J to create a new layer. And here in the remove tool, so you hit that, you go over here to find distractions, wires and cables, and it does its magic. Let's see. Wow, did a fantastic job, even through the truck. That is so cool. That is so cool. Wow. All right. So now we want to get rid of these poles. So the easiest way is with your bracket keys, you can adjust your brush size. So with the shift, well, you actually left click here first, hold the shift key down, left click, and it creates a line. I'm going to zoom in here, lower the brush size, go here again, here, with, oops, I forgot to hold the shift key, and here, shift, enter, move it over. Wow, fantastic job there as well. Looking really, really good. And now let's, you know what, it's doing so good. Let's keep on going. I want to get rid of this here. So I'm going to increase the brush size there. Left click, shift, hold it down, enter. And over here, same thing. Let's try this rock. Let's see how good it does with this rock here. Enter. Wow, fantastic. I am digging it. This is looking great. Cool. Oh, you know what? Let's do this sign too. Enter. Wow, great. So now we're going to bring this back into Photoshop. First, I'm going to flatten the image to just, don't make this such a large file size. Click on this, hit yes, and it'll bring it over to Lightroom, and we're just going to finish it up, a little couple of touch-ups. And here we are with our distractions removed, looking great. I'm going to add a little bit of a vignette over here. This is a Lightroom style, which is pretty good. That's too much for me. You can adjust it with the midpoint, make it wider. That's not so bad, but I like doing it myself. So I will go here, radial gradient, go here in the center, open it up, move it down a little bit. Great. Now I'm going to invert the mask, go here to tone, and give it a little bit of vignette. Yeah, that's looking nice. I'm liking that. That is nice and subtle. That might be 20. That's a 20, 23. Let's close this up and see how it looks. Yeah, I don't want it to be too much. I'm actually going to do now a subtract with a mask, the brush. I just want to take it out of here. Just a little bit. That's looking good. And what else? And that's it. I am really digging this. Maybe, you know what? No, this is good. What do you think of this image? I like the look. What do you think? And let me know what you'd like to see further on. Give me some suggestions on what videos you would like to see in editing or photography. I try to do a video. Well, I'm going to try to do a video once a week or every 2 weeks. Life has its things that I have to do photography. I have my family and I have a full-time job. But I love sharing my knowledge of photography and editing. And, that's how I like to give back. So drop your suggestions in the comments, and I'd love to hear your comments on this image. Till the next one, peace and take care.